Well, thanks for visiting us this morning at KTALnews.com. I'm meteorologist Josh Marces. We have your Friday morning forecast update. Stormy Friday for us. We have perfect weather on the way this weekend, and we'll be right back into the storms next week. So that's what we'll be talking about in the forecast here. Couldn't ask for a better weekend. Unfortunately, we have this big hurdle in the way between us and the weekend as these storms that we're expecting today. Thunderstorm activity will likely pick up later this morning. More widespread during the afternoon and evening, but on the lookout again for some high winds, some large hail initially with the storms, and there's a low tornado threat today. It's not zero as we say, but it's a very low threat for us, but we can't rule out maybe an isolated tornado at some point today. Risk level is level 3 enhanced risk outlook for most of East Texas, Louisiana, and some of our lower counties here in Arkansas, Texarkana. You're in that level 2 slight risk, and some storms this morning brushing by the northern ArkLaTex, mainly a wind risk with those early this morning and possibly some hail as well. But the all hazard severe weather threat will be here across much of Texas and Louisiana, especially through the afternoon and early evening today. The flood threat's still there given the heavy rain that we had earlier this week, so it's a medium flood threat for us. We don't have any flash flood watches in effect here, but a lot of these storms could bring a quick inch or two of rain to many areas of the ArkLaTex. So what we're watching this morning, we have this complex of storms that is moving down the Red River here between Oklahoma City and Dallas. The stronger storms are likely to stay just north of us this morning, but the tail end of these will likely bring some gusty winds. So if you're anywhere here north of I-30 into Clarksville, as well as Arkansas and McCurtain County, you may want to keep an eye on those this morning, as potentially could bring some wind and some lightning as well. But for the rest of us, you can see the storm chance will kind of ramp up later this morning and especially this afternoon. The rain will be quite widespread later today. Temperatures starting out in the 60s and low 70s here. We have the south breeze, which is pushing the humidity in. The wind will turn to the north behind these storms today. It's actually a cold front that's going to push these through, so that will nudge out the humidity, and that's what's going to give us the great weather over the weekend. Highs today should be in the 70s in most areas, given the rain will pop up a little earlier than in the day. So here's a look at your Robin's Toyota Futurecast. This time of the year, the weather forecast models, none of them are perfect. These are notoriously difficult patterns for the models to pick up on. I think this is our in-house model here. I think it has the best handle on where the storms are this morning and where they'll likely pop up later in the day. So it does show this initial round of storms kind of brushing through the northern ArkLaTex, including areas like Texarkana. Again, it's just a low-end risk for any severe weather early this morning, but once we hit the afternoon, you can see these cells that are popping up here. That will be the initial round of severe weather here. Some of these will likely bring some hail and potentially some wind, and I think later this evening this will transition to more of a wind threat. But some of these storms here, once we get going today, could have a little bit of rotation with them, and that's why we can't rule out maybe a few brief tornadoes, and I would say that's especially the case south of Interstate 20 later today into this evening. We hit sunset. There's still some rain out there, but the northern ArkLaTex will clear out pretty quickly after sunset. We'll probably see some rain around in Shreveport through late tonight, but by tomorrow morning the rain is east of us. We have that gorgeous weather taking over for the weekend. We'll have mostly sunny skies both Saturday as well as Sunday, and highs in the upper 70s and low 80s for the weekend. And as far as the rainfall totals here, you can see a lot of areas will pick up another inch or two of rain, so probably will be some high water on some of the roads given the rain will likely accumulate over the matter of just a few hours there. So heavy rain, short period of time, usually get some roadway flooding, and I think that will be the case in at least a few spots today, especially for the afternoon commute. I think the morning commute just fine in most areas, but there's the weekend forecast, which is looking great. Looks great Monday as well, but we're right back in the storms next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Kind of a similar pattern to what we've been experiencing this week, where we could see some wind and hail. Again, we're not in the long-range severe weather outlook, as these patterns, again, we'll just kind of take it on a day-by-day basis as we get into next week, but I think it's likely we'll at least see some low-end potential for severe weather and some additional heavy rain. It looks like next 6 to 7 days, a lot of areas will pick up a good 3 to 6 inches of rain.